Industrial real estate has exploded over the last cycle and doesn't seem to be slowing down anytime soon. Let's dive into 4 reasons why the industrial outlook is so damn good. Number 1, online sales will continue to grow. As bad as the pandemic has been, COVID has definitely accelerated the growth of e-commerce and online ordering in the past 2 years. Yes, larger industrial spaces are, and always will be, taken by the Amazons of the world. But many underestimate the need that much smaller online retailers have out there right now. The demand for last mile delivery and regional distribution is massive. And that means the need for access to smaller industrial spaces is also pretty big. Businesses need more space to store that inventory so they can get it to you faster. But it's not only product retailers. Concepts like ghost kitchens are rapidly growing as well to meet demand for restaurant delivery. Ghost kitchens often reside in industrial properties since rents are much cheaper and the nature of their business dictates that they don't need front-facing retail presence. Check out this video here for everything you need to know on ghost kitchens. Online retail and other business models that don't require retail space is booming. And there doesn't seem to be an end to that trend. This is one of the best reasons why the future of industrial commercial real estate is so bright. Number 2, the supply of industrial properties is not growing rapidly. On the flip side of the coin, in my opinion, the supply of industrial space has not, and likely will not, keep up with demand in the next decade. The main issue here is that it's tough to find enough strategically located land to build industrial parks on. The area needs to be affordable enough to support industrial use and in an easily accessible area, which is very difficult to do since there's typically a higher and better use for that land, like high-end retail or condos. And speaking of the highest and best use of land, much of the industrial real estate around the urban core or even the urban core adjacent is already being torn down and redeveloped into retail, multifamily, office, or mixed-use properties. Why? Again, these types of assets bring in higher rents and therefore have higher values than industrial ever could. So what does this mean for someone looking to invest in industrial commercial real estate? It means there's a big opportunity to acquire any industrial asset near the urban cores right now. Since you likely won't have any new industrial properties built in those areas, you'll likely not have any competition. But you should definitely start buying before pricing gets too far out of reach. Now, while the supply of industrial properties and land is decreasing, demand certainly isn't. As I've said, there's an abundance of online retail and service-based businesses that need smaller flex space, and they want it in the downtown core. The lack of supply in the face of serious demand is always a unique opportunity for the right investor. Number 3, less turnover. For commercial real estate investors, tenant turnover is one of those facts of life that you'll always have to deal with. Industrial commercial properties, though, can offer a bit of a hedge against dealing with potential tenant loss and, therefore, loss of income. For one thing, with a lower supply of properties to move to, there are fewer opportunities for your tenant to do so. Industrial tenants are likely to grow within industrial opportunities rather than to outgrow them and move into a different asset type or property. Depending on their operations, it can be incredibly expensive and difficult to move. Different goals, use, mindset, and opportunity for the industrial tenant can make them nearly ideal in terms of low turnover, especially when compared to other product types. And number 4, simplicity. Industrial real estate is low maintenance. If you're invested in other types of commercial real estate products, you'll instantly find this to be an attractive quality. For instance, your biggest capital expenditure is likely the roofing on your building. Now, yes, of course, you've got the usual plumbing and electrical, but nothing like the demands of other asset types. Think about it. In most cases, you're basically renting an empty box. It's also fairly easy to predict what your expenses will be for the foreseeable future, since the buildings are relatively simple compared to apartment complexes, office buildings, and the like. Lastly, and similarly, tenant improvements are also often much lower because your tenants don't need to stage an extravagant build-out. The space simply needs to work for their operations. Industrial also requires minimal landlord responsibilities. Again, compared to other commercial real estate product types, and to be fair, residential product types, industrial landlording can be incredibly easy and less intense. Leases for industrial properties are often structured in ways that minimize landlord responsibilities, which is better for the landlord and the tenant, especially the tenant who doesn't like you interfering with their business anyway. You usually won't have the landscaping bill that apartment complexes may have, or the drama of over-parking neighbors that you can find in shopping centers. And that list can go on and on. Now, don't get me wrong. You want to invest in and maintain excellent buildings in excellent shape, but with industrial, you won't find the laundry list of must-haves that you do otherwise. This asset class can actually be a great starter investment for the newcomer to commercial real estate because of all of these reasons. Is industrial real estate starting to look attractive to you? Check out this video here on everything you need to know about industrial real estate.